All those things said, pray with me as I start, and as we dig into God's Word today. Father, it seems like we're praying a lot. That's not a bad thing. Lord, may I get out of the way this morning. May your words be your words to your people. May we all hear them. May we all let them resonate. May we be the people that you're calling us to be. May we not balk at what you're calling us to be and where you're calling us to go. We pray this in your Son's holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Like that. On the brink of something new. On the brink of new. I want to remind you the big point for Christmas Eve, because I really enjoyed giving this sermon. Christmas means, simply say it with me, He arrives. Now, church, when it's a read along, it can't be mumbled, right? Because the words are there. I know sometimes I give you bad cues, but it's on screen. So Christmas means He arrives today. Oh, I love that. It's just so good. So every time you think about Christmas, and I know most of us are like, I'm not thinking about Christmas. I'm done with that. I got 11 months off. Well, Christian, same thing. He arrived to save me. Right? So as we step into this new year, as we are literally on the brink of a new year, I want you to be letting every day be flavored by Christmas, by recognizing the saving gift that is Jesus Christ. Now, I've been at the church now for 6 months, and it has felt like 6 days. It's just been going like that. And some of you are like, Mike, you do go like that. You go too fast. So let me slow it down. While I'm at church, I sing a lot. Any singers out there? Any shower singers? Any singers in the garage? Right? Your mom sings, that's right. Speaking of Will's mom, Liz, today she is actually at an installation service. Liz is our associate pastor, and she's helping the presbytery get another pastor installed. Good news. So I like to sing, much to the non-enjoyment of my family, and specifically the non-enjoyment of my staff. And so my first Sunday here, I told you about Hamilton, Lin-Manuel Miranda's play, musical, and how I'm not going to throw away my shot. And I sing songs from Moana all the time. I sing songs from... sometimes I feel like my heart is a Disney princess. Because I sing so much. And I don't think I'm a very good singer. I really, really don't. However, my high school choir, we did get to tour all of Northern California with a grand stop in Exeter, California. And if anybody had been there, that's the best. Good lasagna at that meal. And I also got recruited to be part of a group called the Continental Singers, which was a major Christian group that sung around the globe. So I grew up with a lot of music in my life. Matter of fact, I went from being a saxophone player in high school to a music major in college. Music's been a major part of my life. My father had one of the largest and loudest record collections of all time. I couldn't get away from music. And so what I love, being at this church, which celebrates the great tradition of hymns, as well as embraces the power of contemporary praise music. I love that because both of those have richness and gifts to offer the church. I absolutely love that. What I find is that music can tell a story and can tell a really personal story. That I think we all have what I would call a life song. Every single one of us has a song that is in our heart that we sing, whether out loud or silently. But the world knows what our song is, whether it's joyous or if it's painful. We have a life song. Sometimes there's choruses that are filled with joy, and sometimes there are choruses that are filled with pain and regret. If you're with me, say I am. I am. Okay, just making sure I'm not talking to myself. So the question I'm asking is, what is your life song? Is your life song filled with doubt or fear or anxiety? Or is your life song filled with courage, excitement, and hope? Think about that just for a second before we even touch on our scripture. The song that's in your heart today, Is it a song of hope or a song of doubt? The song that is in your heart today, is it a song of courage or is it a song of fear? Identify. What are the tones of your life song? Come on in, folks. We've got plenty of room for you. As you know, when you encounter other people and you hear their song, their life song, if it's a song of joy, or if it's a song of pain. You just know it right the second you encounter it. So, church, what song do you sing more? The songs of pain and hurt, or the songs of joy and promise? Because the world listens. And I want to ask you this. What song do you think is more attractive? What song do you think invites more people? Thanks, Paul. All right. Today we're going to look at the story of God's people as they were on the brink of changing everything. This is the story of the Israelites, the Hebrews, as they've been traveling from Egypt land all the way to the Promised Land. And you all know the story that Moses led the people right up to the Promised Land. And right when they got to the Promised Land, the people said, "Whoa, that city's got big walls. Whoa, they have big giant soldiers in there. If we go in there, they're going to destroy us." And Joshua was like, "No, we can do it. God will help us." But they decided, no, we don't want to do it. Their song was one of fear and anxiety and doubt. And so they turned away. And do you guys remember what God did because they turned away? Come on, the church, you know this. How many years did they wander? 40 years. 2 generations of people disappeared. 2. Because their song was one of fear and anxiety. They didn't trust. And so today we're getting ourselves right to a place where, again, the band of former Egyptian slaves, the over 5 million people strong that have been wandering in the desert, they're approaching the city of Jericho. They are on the edge of the Promised Land. They are on the brink of something amazing and new. And the question I have is, well, what kind of song were they singing? Were they singing a song of excitement and hope, or doubt and anxiety?
Doubt
Thanks, Paul.
and anxiety.
They weren't in the Promised Land. They were Promised Land adjacent. So imagine you're traveling, and it's been a long travel, 40 years of traveling, and you're almost at your destination. You're almost right there, and you see, oh man, this last bit's going to be really, really difficult. Maybe we can stay right here. I'm sure people were saying that. Let's read the text. Joshua chapter 6, verses 1 through 16. This is a diversion from what we were going to talk about when I was writing this series a long time ago. Joshua 6, 1 through 16. Now Jericho was shut up inside and out because of the Israelites. Wouldn't you close your door if you saw 5 million people coming saying, "Hey, that's our city"? No one came out and no one went in. The Lord said to Joshua, "See, I have handed Jericho over to you, along with its king and its soldiers." God's making a proclamation. It's yours. Take it. You shall march around the city, all warriors circling the city at once, and you shall do this for 6 days, with 7 priests bearing 7 trumpets, ram's horns, before the ark. On the 7th day you shall march around the city 7 times, the priests blowing the trumpets. And when they make a long blast on the ram's horn, as soon as you hear the sound of the trumpet, then all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the walls of the city will down, doobie, down, doobie, down. And the people shall charge straight ahead. So Joshua, son of Nun, summoned the priests and said to them, "Take up the ark of the covenant, and have 7 priests carry the trumpets of the ram's horn in front of the ark of the Lord." And then he said to the people, "Now go forward and march around the city, and have armed men before and behind the ark of the Lord." So Joshua commanded the people. 7 priests carrying 7 trumpets, 7 ram's horns, before the ark of the Lord went forward, blowing trumpets of the Lord, the ark of the covenant of the Lord following them. And the armed men went before the priest who blew the trumpets. The rear guard came after the ark, and while the trumpets blew continually, the people of Joshua gave the command, "You shall not let your voices be heard, nor shall you utter a word until the day I tell you to shout. Then you shall shout." So the ark of the Lord went around the city, circling it once. And then they came into the camp and spent the night camped. Then Joshua rose up early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord, and the 7 priests carrying the 7 trumpets of the ram's horn before the ark, and the Lord passed around, blowing the trumpets continually. The armed men went before them, and the rear guard came after the ark of the Lord, while the trumpets blew continually. On the second day they marched around the city once again, and they returned to camp. Imagine being part of that 5 million people marching around the city. Big, giant city. You've just marched around it twice. All you're doing is tooting your horn. On the 7th day, they rose early at dawn and marched around the city in the same manner 7 times. It was only on that day that they marched around the city 7 times. And the 7th time, when the priests had blown their trumpets, Joshua said to the people, "Shout, for the Lord has given you this city." And at that moment, the walls. Church, I believe that we are on the brink of something new. And with this new thing we encounter, we have the chance to affect our city and our lives in a powerful, powerful way. And I think that the crowd that Joshua was filled with 2 sets of emotion: excitement and hope, and doubt and anxiety. Doubters like me, I would come up to that city and go, "You see how big those walls are, Joshua? That's 25 feet high. We don't have ladders 25 feet high. How are we getting over that?" Or I'd be another one of the doubters. And I said, "Joshua, you see how thick those walls are? They're 20 feet thick. We couldn't dig through that in years. We're not getting in." Because the people knew that Jericho was one of the most fortified cities of all the cities. It was a fortress. It was an impossible city. And so here are the Israelites circling it and sieging it. And they knew it wasn't going to work. And so day 1, Joshua says, "All right, people, get up and march around the city." Okay. Toot, toot, toot. They go around and they march. Carry the ark. Nothing happens. Day 2, they get up. And what do? Toot, toot, toot. What happens? Day 3. Joshua, it's a little bit early for this marching around the city, don't you think? How many of you on the 3rd day would be doubting? Okay? By the 5th day, would you be doubting? I'm like, what is going on? You're just giving them time. They're loading up their arrows, right? This is not going to end well. But I flash back to what God tells Joshua at the very beginning of his reign as leader of the people. He says to Joshua, "Be strong and courageous." Not once. Be strong and courageous. Not twice. Be strong and courageous. Not even 3 times. Joshua, be strong and courageous. 4 times the Lord says this to Joshua. You think he heard it? Because I think that when Joshua is telling the people what we're going to do, how we're going to capture this city, he's doing it in a way that makes it so the people have to listen. Because he's not telling them the whole plan, which is we're going to march around the city for 7 days, and then at the end we're going to blow the horn, and then the walls are going to tumble down. He didn't give them all that. He only gave them bits of the story. He said, "All right, today, here's what we're going to do today. We're We're going to march around the city and blow our horn. And then the next day, here's what we're going to do today. It's going to be good. We're going to march around our city and we're going to blow the horn. And the next day, it's going to be amazing. What are we going to do? He didn't give them more than they needed. He said simply, come and follow me. He was kind of saying, trust my life song. Trust the song that I'm singing. Because the Lord has already handed this over to us. See, Joshua understood the promise that God had made to him. He said, look, there's the city. It's yours. The word handed over in the original language, it's already given. This is a done deal. God has already handed it. Literally, placed past tense. It's yours. You're going to take it when you need to take it. So again, what song do you think that people are singing? Joshua is singing a song of hope and promise. But what song do you think the people are singing? Yeah, maybe Joshua about the Battle of Jericho. I think they sing the same song that we sing, and the same song that this church sometimes sings. And it's a song of what if. What if we do this? Then that bad thing's going to happen. What if we do that? Then this bad thing happens. What if we do this and we lose and make a huge mistake? What if God doesn't show up? Why can't we just do things the way we've always been doing them for like the last 40 years? And we'll just stay right here. So, I'm sure there were people that were saying to Joshua, why don't we just camp out right next to Jericho? We'll be promised land adjacent. Eventually, it'll be the best property ever, right? See, but the thing is, fear can cause people to balk, can cause people to stop. And when someone is encountering fear or a difficult situation, and it causes them to stop, it is the same thing as causing someone to stay. God's command to Joshua was to take the city. It's already yours. I am sure there are people that were telling Joshua, let's just stay right where we are. See, I think about what they might have been singing as they walked around the city, if they were allowed to sing. I'm sure some of the people were going around going, hi-ho, they're just singing songs of, we're going to die today, right? Because they could see the people in the archers' towers with their arrows ready. Like, this is not going to go well. It's not going to end well. But Joshua led them not in a long plan, but in a day-by-day plan. He asked the people not to trust the big plan, but just to trust them day by day. He was simply saying, trust my song. Follow my lead today. And they did. So how does God lead you? Day by day. I like to think of the promises that are so far out in my future. I like to think of all the things that God's going to do and has been doing in my life. But I know that when it comes down to making decisions, I need to trust Him right now, today, with my next choice, with the next set of words that come out of my mouth, with the next decision I make, with where I place my finances, where I place my trust. I can't look long term. I have to also trust short term. And so I have to make those choices between anxiety and doubt or courage and hope. And I have to wrestle with, does God call me? Does God call you? Does God call all of us to be strong and courageous? And I believe He does. Church, what will your song be? What will your life song be about? When people hear the stories of your life, Will they be the songs and stories of promise and praise? Or doubt and anxiety? Will they be the songs that sing of God's amazing, incredible power? Or be the songs that say, I was stuck in fear, and I chose not to move? Church, what will your life song be? I pray it's one of strength and courageousness. Please pray with me. Holy God, as we come into this moment, as we experience you, as we feel you, as we are moved by your Spirit, Father, we ask that you give us eyes not only to see the end of 2018, but to be able to see tomorrow. To be able to trust you with our tomorrow, with our next set of decisions. So that our life songs would be singing to you. That in the face of illness, in the face of loss, in the face of being lost, in the face of doubt, in the face of pain, in the face of whatever the world can throw, that our song still remains that we are strong and courageous, and that we always have a hallelujah on our lips. Pray this all in your name.